The Amish have been growing food without chemicals or modern machinery for over 300 years, and their gardens consistently outproduce anything you'll find in suburbia. Today, we're uncovering 20 of their most closely guarded gardening secrets that could change your garden forever. Secret number 20, plant by the moon phases. Your grandfather might have mentioned planting by the moon, but the Amish have turned this ancient practice into a precise science that can boost your yields by up to 30%. They plant root crops like potatoes and carrots during the waning moon when energy flows downward, and leafy greens during the waxing moon when energy rises. It sounds like old wives' tales until you see an Amish garden in August. Their tomatoes are still producing while yours have given up for the season. The science behind this isn't mystical. It's about gravitational pull affecting soil moisture and plant growth hormones. Amish farmers have tracked planting dates and yields for generations, and their handwritten journals prove that moon phase planting consistently produces larger harvests. Modern research is finally catching up, showing that lunar cycles do influence plant growth patterns, just like they affect ocean tides. Secret number 19, use human hair as pest deterrent. Walk into any Amish barbershop and you'll see bags of hair clippings ready for the garden. This isn't waste. It's one of their most effective pest control methods. Scattered around plants, human hair creates an invisible barrier that keeps deer, rabbits, and groundhogs away while slowly decomposing to add nitrogen to the soil. The scent tells animals that humans are nearby, triggering their natural avoidance instincts without harming them. What makes this technique brilliant is its dual purpose. While city gardeners spend hundreds on fencing and repellents, the Amish get free pest control and fertilizer in one shot. The hair breaks down over 6 to 8 months, releasing nutrients gradually just when plants need them most. One handful of hair contains enough nitrogen to feed a square foot of garden, and unlike chemical fertilizers, it won't burn your plants or contaminate groundwater. Secret number 18, Three Sisters companion planting. The Amish learned this technique from Native Americans and perfected it over centuries, planting corn, beans, and squash together in a symbiotic relationship that maximizes space and nutrients. The corn provides a natural trellis for beans, which fix nitrogen in the soil for the heavy-feeding corn and squash. The squash leaves create living mulch that suppresses weeds and retains moisture, while their prickly stems deter pests. This isn't just folklore. Modern agricultural studies show that Three Sisters gardens produce 30% more food per square foot than monoculture plantings. The Amish have refined the spacing and timing to perfection. Plant corn first, add beans when corn is 6 inches tall, then plant squash around the perimeter. Your suburban neighbors will wonder how you're growing so much food in such a small space, while you're secretly using a technique that's older than America itself. Secret number 17, bury fish scraps for explosive growth. Every spring, Amish gardeners bury fish heads, bones, and scraps about 12 inches deep throughout their gardens, creating underground nutrient bombs that feed plants all season long. This technique, passed down from their European ancestors, releases a slow, steady supply of nitrogen, phosphorus, and calcium as the fish decomposes. The results are dramatic. Tomatoes grow twice as large, and corn stalks reach heights that seem impossible. The key is burying the fish deep enough to avoid attracting animals, while positioning it where roots can access the nutrients. Amish farmers often save fish scraps all winter, storing them frozen until spring planting. One fish head can feed a tomato plant for an entire growing season, producing yields that put expensive commercial fertilizers to shame. Just make sure to bury it deep. Your neighbors don't need to know about your secret weapon. Secret number 16, create living mulch with cover crops. While most gardeners buy expensive mulch by the bag, the Amish grow their own using cover crops that do double duty as soil improvers and weed suppressors. They plant crimson clover, winter rye, or buckwheat between rows and in unused areas, creating a living carpet that prevents weeds while adding organic matter to the soil. When it's time to plant, they simply cut the cover crop and let it decompose in place. This technique builds soil fertility year after year instead of depleting it like conventional gardening. The cover crop's roots break up compacted soil, their leaves add organic matter, and nitrogen-fixing varieties like clover actually improve soil fertility while they grow. Amish gardens get richer and more productive each season, while conventional gardens require more and more inputs just to maintain the same yields. Secret number 15. Save seeds, using the envelope method. The Amish have maintained genetic diversity in their vegetables for centuries, using a simple seed-saving system that ensures the strongest, most adapted plants survive. They select seeds only from their best-performing plants: the tomato that produced the most fruit, the bean plant that resisted disease, the corn that withstood drought. These seeds are dried thoroughly and stored in paper envelopes with detailed notes about the parent plant's characteristics. This creates vegetables perfectly adapted to local conditions over time, something you can't buy from any seed company. Amish families often have tomato varieties that have been grown on the same farm for 50-plus years, developing resistance to local pests and diseases while maintaining superior flavor. Start with just one variety this year. Save seeds from your best plant, and in 5 years, you'll have vegetables that outperform anything from the store. Secret number 14. Use compost tea for liquid gold. The Amish turn kitchen scraps and garden waste into liquid fertilizer that's more potent than anything you can buy. They fill burlap sacks with aged compost, steep them in water barrels for a week, then dilute the resulting tea to feed their plants. This liquid gold contains beneficial microorganisms and nutrients in forms that plants can immediately absorb, producing visible results within days. The beauty of compost tea is that it feeds both plants and soil organisms, creating a living ecosystem that becomes more productive over time. Amish gardeners often add molasses to feed the beneficial bacteria, creating a probiotic drink for their plants. 1 barrel of compost tea can feed an entire garden for weeks, and unlike chemical fertilizers, it actually improves soil health with each application. Secret number 13. Build raised beds with logs. Long before raised bed kits became popular, the Amish were building permanent growing beds using logs from their own woodlots. These log-framed beds last for decades, slowly decomposing to add organic matter to the soil while providing excellent drainage and soil warming. The thermal mass of the logs moderates soil temperature, extending the growing season on both ends. What makes this technique superior to modern raised beds is the gradual nutrient release as the logs decay. Cedar and locust logs last longest, while softer woods like pine break down faster to feed the soil. The Amish often fill these beds with a mixture of soil, compost, and aged manure, creating growing medium so rich that plants seem to grow themselves. After 20 years, the logs have completely decomposed, leaving behind incredibly fertile soil. Secret number 12. Rotate crops in 4-year cycles. The Amish practice crop rotation with religious precision, following 4-year cycles that prevent soil depletion and break pest and disease cycles. Year 1. Heavy feeders like tomatoes and corn. Year 2. Legumes like beans and peas that fix nitrogen. Year 3. Root crops like carrots and potatoes that break up soil. Year 4. Cover crops or fallow to rest the soil completely. This system maintains soil fertility without external inputs while dramatically reducing pest problems. Potato beetles can't establish populations when potatoes move to a different area each year. Soil-borne diseases die out when their host plants aren't available. Modern research confirms what the Amish have known for generations. Proper crop rotation can increase yields by 25% while reducing the need for pesticides and fertilizers. Secret number 11, harvest rainwater in wooden barrels. Every Amish farm has wooden barrels positioned under downspouts and at the corners of buildings, collecting thousands of gallons of soft, chemical-free water each year. This rainwater is naturally acidic, which helps nutrients become more available to plants, and it's free of the chlorine and fluoride found in tap water. Plants watered with rainwater consistently show better growth and deeper green color. The wooden barrels aren't just functional. They're part of a complete water management system that includes swales, berms, and strategic plantings to capture and direct water where it's needed most. A typical Amish garden uses 50% less irrigation than conventional gardens because every drop of rain is captured and used efficiently. The barrels also provide thermal mass that moderates temperature swings around plants. Secret number 10, make natural pesticides from kitchen scraps. The Amish create powerful pest deterrents using ingredients from their own kitchens: garlic, onions, hot peppers, and soap. These homemade sprays are just as effective as commercial pesticides, but won't harm beneficial insects, contaminate soil, or leave toxic residues on food. A simple spray made from blended garlic and water can eliminate aphids, while hot pepper spray stops most chewing insects cold. The key is understanding which pests respond to which treatments and applying them at the right time. Amish gardeners often combine multiple ingredients: garlic for aphids, soap for soft-bodied insects, and cayenne for mammals. These sprays work by disrupting pests' feeding and reproduction rather than killing them outright, which means beneficial insects aren't harmed and resistance doesn't develop. Secret number 9, use milk jugs as season extenders. Before expensive row covers and cold frames, the Amish were using clear milk jugs with the bottoms cut off as individual plant protectors. These simple devices create mini greenhouses that can extend the growing season by 4 to 6 weeks on each end, allowing earlier planting and later harvests. The thermal mass of water-filled jugs placed nearby provides additional frost protection. This technique is particularly effective for heat-loving crops like tomatoes and peppers, which can be planted weeks earlier than normal with jug protection. The Amish often paint the jugs black on the north side to absorb more heat while leaving the south side clear for maximum light transmission. Remove the caps for ventilation on warm days, and you've got a climate control system that costs nothing but works better than expensive commercial alternatives. Secret number 8, create microclimates with strategic plantings. The Amish understand that every garden has multiple microclimates, and they use strategic plantings to create even more favorable growing conditions. Tall plants like corn and sunflowers provide wind protection for delicate crops, while dense plantings create humid microclimates that benefit moisture-loving plants. Stone walls and water features moderate temperature swings and create thermal mass. This knowledge allows them to grow crops that shouldn't survive in their climate zone. By planting heat-loving vegetables on the south side of buildings and cold-hardy crops in naturally cooler spots, they effectively expand their growing zone by several degrees. The result is gardens that produce tropical fruits in Pennsylvania and cool season crops through hot summers. Secret number 7, build soil with sheet mulching. The Amish build incredibly fertile soil using sheet mulching, layering organic materials directly on the ground to create rich growing medium without tilling. They start with cardboard or newspaper to suppress weeds, then add layers of brown materials, leaves, straw, and green materials, kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, in a lasagna-like pattern. This method mimics forest floor decomposition, creating soil that's alive with beneficial organisms. Sheet mulching eliminates the need for tilling, which destroys soil structure and beneficial fungi. Instead, earthworms and microorganisms do the work, creating soil that's loose, fertile, and full of life. Amish gardens built with sheet mulching often have topsoil depths of 12 to 18 inches, compared to the 2 to 4 inches typical in conventional gardens. The soil holds more water, drains better, and produces healthier plants with less work. Secret number 6. Time plantings by soil temperature. While most gardeners plant by calendar dates, the Amish plant by soil temperature using simple techniques to determine when conditions are perfect for each crop. They know that corn won't germinate until soil reaches 60 degrees Fahrenheit, while lettuce prefers 45 degrees Fahrenheit soil. A bare hand pressed into the soil for 10 seconds tells them everything they need to know about planting timing. This knowledge prevents the disappointment of seeds rotting in cold soil or plants being stressed by premature planting. The Amish often use dark-colored mulch or clear plastic to warm soil earlier in spring, then remove it once plants are established. They also know which crops can handle light frost and which need protection, allowing them to maximize their growing season without losing crops to weather. Secret number 5. Preserve seeds in diatomaceous earth. The Amish keep their saved seeds viable for decades using food-grade diatomaceous earth, a natural powder that prevents insect damage and moisture problems without toxic chemicals. A light dusting of diatomaceous earth in seed storage containers eliminates weevils, moths, and other pests that can destroy an entire year's seed collection. The powder also absorbs excess moisture that could cause seeds to mold or lose viability. This technique allows Amish families to maintain seed collections that span generations, preserving genetic diversity and local adaptations that would otherwise be lost. Seeds stored with diatomaceous earth often maintain 90% plus germination rates for 5 to 10 years, compared to 2 to 3 years for conventionally stored seeds. The investment in food-grade diatomaceous earth pays for itself many times over in preserved seed value. Secret number 4. Use beneficial insects as living pesticides. The Amish attract and maintain populations of beneficial insects that provide natural pest control more effectively than any spray. They plant flowers like yarrow, dill, and sweet alyssum throughout their gardens to provide nectar and pollen for predatory insects. These beneficial insects, ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps, keep pest populations in check without any intervention from the gardener. This biological pest control system becomes more effective over time as beneficial insect populations establish and multiply. Amish gardens often have pest damage rates below 5%, compared to 20 to 30% in conventional gardens. Yet they never use chemical pesticides. The key is providing habitat and food sources for beneficial insects year-round, not just during the growing season. Secret number 3. Maximize space with vertical growing. Long before vertical gardening became trendy, the Amish were growing food in 3 dimensions using simple trellises, poles, and living supports. They trained beans up corn stalks, grow cucumbers on wooden frames, and use sunflower stalks as natural trellises for lightweight vines. This technique can triple the productivity of a small garden space while improving air circulation and reducing disease problems. The Amish build their trellises to last using materials from their own farms, split rails, woven branches, and sturdy posts that can support heavy crops like winter squash. They understand that vertical growing isn't just about saving space. It also makes harvesting easier, reduces pest problems, and allows better light penetration to lower leaves. A well-designed vertical system can produce as much food as a garden 3 times its size. Secret number 2. Create perfect drainage with raised rows. The Amish shape their garden beds into raised rows that provide perfect drainage while conserving water and preventing soil compaction. These permanent raised rows, built up over years with compost and organic matter, warm up faster in spring and drain excess water quickly after heavy rains. The pathways between rows are kept narrow to maximize growing space while providing access for cultivation. This system eliminates the boom and bust cycle of waterlogged soil, followed by drought stress that plagues flat gardens. The raised rows shed excess water to the pathways, where it's absorbed slowly or directed to areas that need irrigation. Plants grown on raised rows have deeper, healthier root systems and are more resistant to both drought and flooding. The technique works in any climate and can be adapted to any garden size. Secret number 1. Follow the feed the soil, not the plant philosophy. The most important Amish gardening secret isn't a technique. It's a philosophy that guides everything they do. Instead of feeding plants with synthetic fertilizers, they focus on building soil health through composting, cover cropping, and organic matter additions. Healthy soil creates healthy plants that are naturally resistant to pests and diseases while producing more nutritious food. This approach creates a positive feedback loop where gardens become more productive and require less work each year. Amish gardens that have been managed this way for decades have soil so rich and alive that plants seem to grow themselves. The soil holds more water during droughts, drains better during wet periods, and supports beneficial organisms that protect plants from diseases. It's the difference between gardening and farming. One fights against nature while the other works with it. These 20 Amish secrets represent centuries of gardening wisdom that can transform any backyard into a productive, sustainable food source. Start with just 1 or 2 techniques this season and watch your garden flourish like never before. If you're ready to grow food the way your great-grandfather did, hit that subscribe button and check out our next video about forgotten heirloom vegetables that are making a comeback in American gardens.